Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So we're here working on the 40 whatever Dodge panel truck. You guys know the deal. Putting the Gen 3 blown hemi in there. Come on over here, we'll show them what we got. Just showed up today. So these are the Hooker Blackheart Series shorty headers. Very nicely done. And what we're trying to do obviously is fit them on this motor. And I don't know if we can get you a shot here, but we're looking a lot closer than I thought we were going to be. Show them down here. So I can get the header down in there and up against the manifold, but we will need to trim the mid plate, the big mid plate back here for the exhaust manifold. So for this collector to go through there, we're gonna have to trim some of that out, which isn't a big deal, but I want to get that done before we make any kind of mounts going to the mid plate from the frame. So Jason's on his way over. I think the goal is we're gonna pull the motor and tranny out, and then we're gonna cut the transmission cross member so we can maybe lift the motor up if we need to, and then we'll go from there. All right, well, as you've seen, went ahead and I know we'll clean it up later. And by later, what do we mean, Jason? Like never?
Remember when we take it back apart?
So we'll clean all this up, but basically, obviously, trying to get around the header flange here on both sides. Unfortunately, ATI, sorry, we had to, part number's still there, so we're good. But they're bolted on with a few bolts, so now we're gonna have to blow the truck off here, get all this aluminum off, and then we'll see if we can set it down in there. I just have a concern that we're still gonna hit the frame back in this section. I shouldn't say anything because I always jinx myself, but actually, you know what? I'll take a quick measurement and we'll find out. It's going to 7 3/4. How's that fitting in there? Well, obviously looks a little different the next day here. So it's Friday morning and we got the motor set back in there. As you've seen, Jason got that little piece cut out. Now we're gonna remove the rest of both sides of that because you gotta realize we're gonna have the transmission cross member, like I said, the mid plate, and I'm also gonna have some motor mounts made for the front here. But yeah, she's in there and that's its final resting place, and the header's clear. I can't believe that. I mean, you can barely see, but there's a little gap there. And I don't know if it's quite even, but that looks pretty even. There's a little gap there. Now, hopefully, I need to do some measuring this morning, get a radiator coming. We'll get with Holly and see if we can get a frostbite radiator to fit in there. Jason's got to get a few more components. Otherwise, I think we're looking damn good. Now, if we can get this mounted in there, maybe I can start fabricating some of the sheet metal to start enclosing the back of this. The only questionable thing is how far is that 1471 going to hang off the back. But you know what? We can pull a Steve Morris here and put our seat back here. I know he does it because it's a Pro Mod car and the way the car is shaped, but you know, Jason can climb in and get into the back. Even if the firewall does I mean, it shouldn't have to come back to the dash, but even if it had to, or we wanted it to just for extra clearance, that could be the case. So we'll figure that out. And you know, honestly, it'd be easier just because I could take a measurement from this flat surface here, that flat surface over there, and then just make a straight sheet down to the flat section of floor versus on the angle. But it's really not that big of a deal. So the other thing we need to do is at some point we need to pull that tranny out, because this is the one that was in the Camaro, leaks like a sieve. and I'm sure it's got some clutch wear from either having too much fluid or not enough, one or the other, because I don't think the last burnout event Jason put any in. But I want to get lifted up now and see what we can do for these motor mounts. Well, one more thing to check off the list. As you see in there, I showed one side, but both sides are in and welded. So this side's welded on both sides, and up here is as well. And this side, I think I'll wait till, hitting my damn head here. Wait till the motor's out to weld the other side because oil filter deal's in the way. But yeah, perfect little bolt set up here. And then straight over to the new cross member. So that stuff is in. One step closer, I had to order extended tie rod ends because I didn't realize I ordered the rack and the tie rod ends, and you must have to run extended ones because this cross member in here must be past a certain length, calling it an extended or widened crossover piece. That's all right. Jason's got those. We can send these ones back. And yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to look and see what we can do for a cross member for the transmission. We do have this tube up here. Luckily, we put it back far enough so it's still holding it up, but I have access to this. You know, I'm thinking just a simple bolt into the frame here with, you know, maybe a piece of angle iron to drop it down far enough, come straight across with the mount. But this side's kind of screwed up here, so maybe I can beat that back down, straighten it up. I don't know. We'll figure something out, but otherwise the motor is mounted, so transmission, if I get that mount done, motor and tranny can go in and out and not have to worry about it. And then we do have to get a drive shaft measurement. The third member for the rear end actually shows up today. Again, huge shout out to Quick Performance for helping us out with all this stuff, because I know they are extremely backed up on housings. They can get out pretty quick because they got fab guys right there, but getting parts in, getting stuff assembled and stuff for like third members and stuff, it's been a struggle for them. So thank you to Quick Performance. Jason's rim's looking good. What else we got? Oh, Jason brought all this stuff over here. So we've got battery hold down out of the Camaro. We can reuse that. The battery, excess power, always hooking us up there. His hat and stuff like that. I think he brought some other stuff over. Camaro exhaust and stuff, which we're not going to use. Not worth selling either because we butchered that stuff. So we'll go through the rest of this, and then, yeah, I think put the tie rods in, tranny cross member, and then hopefully we'll have the housing or the third member. Maybe we can drop that in there and get a drive shaft measurement. Well, making steps forward here. As you can see, we got the transmission cross member. I don't want to say welded up, stitched it. You know, you can see the burn through there. And the frame, because it narrows, I went ahead and tacked these plates in there. And then I ground the tack off the front side that I had. So when I bolted it in, I let the plate just suck itself where it needed to be. So they were about a 1/4 inch off. So the frame within that little distance obviously shortened up. And they both look pretty much the same. So I welded them in, put little tacks top and bottom. And then I welded in the bottom here. Probably more than enough, so, well, you can't see anything, but yeah, welded it inside there, and then just kind of wrapped around these plates and welded in this side. These are just to keep it from wanting to collapse anyways, so I think it turned out pretty good. And then you also seen that we got, well, transmission cross, or mid-plate cross member, need to do a little bit of opening up. I don't think I need to do that, but I just want to follow the opening for the flex plate. This should be behind it anyways. And then also got this front support in here, which is for the radiator, fenders, and this entire front clip, because this brace goes all the way straight up and through here, this one that we kind of hacked up. So we can cut out these, well, it's really hard to see with all that light glaring, but these 2x4s right here can be gone, and then we might need to do a little patching in there, but yeah, that looked good. And then we got this so that way we can put hopefully fit a socket in there. I don't know. Adam, did you screw that up too? Well, either way. So let's go ahead. I'll get the transmission cross member bolted in. Like I said, got all those holes drilled, everything cleaned up back here. I think that's going to do it for that. Finish up the mid-plate cross member. And then, I'm not really sure. Maybe we'll head over and see if we can help my brother get the adapter plate machined for the blower to that tunnel ram. So that's my next step, because I want to get that tunnel ram set on there. And the adapter plate with the blower, we're going to get that blower, I think, Monday. I need to call the guy and make sure he received my check. I want to make sure he was good with it and everything. So make sure he got that and everything's good. And set the blower on so we can maybe start about sheeting the inside of the truck in and figuring out how far the firewall needs to be back. So let's see where we go from here.